So here's the state of the Utah housing market in southern Utah. If you're looking to buy a home right now in St. George, or basically Washington County, well, actually the whole state of Utah, I won't kid you, it's been rough. Normally, when I would meet up with my clients, we would discuss what houses they wanted to see. We'd set up maybe 5 or 6 homes a day. That's usually pretty comfortable to see that many. But now, if I get that many to show in a week, I am lucky. I'm going to go over some information about what currently is and where we've been and why you can still have hope that it's a good time to buy in this market. So hang on. So recently, I took some clients out to go see a home listed at $300,000. They asked me if I thought the sellers would consider $275,000. Based on what I've seen and with other clients and making multiple offers, I told them no. In fact, if we want to make an offer that they would consider, we would have to go above asking price to be in the ring. So we discussed our price range, the limits of what they were on a 100% loan would be, and the limits of an appraisal, because we have to still work with that. This was last October when the prices were starting to really spike. So we threw in our offer in the pile with several others, and we made an offer of $312,000. Needless to say, we were beat out by a cash offer of $320,000. The home was in contract in 4 days and closed in 2 weeks. So the first point is it's an extremely lopsided seller's market. Why? Lack of inventory. So why lack of inventory? Well, I have my thoughts. You know, when the COVID hit in March of 2020, a lot of builders I know hit the pause button and they stopped building too far ahead, like spec homes and that. Then the out-of-state politics and their lockdowns like California and Nevada that started driving a mass migration east like never before seen since the Mormons headed west from Missouri. Even our local and national parks and lakes reflected that as they were overwhelmed with out-of-state visitors. There were many more factors, but the bottom line is low inventory. That plays into the supply and demand formula, meaning that low supply, higher prices. So let's look at some quick history. And don't leave before I tell you why it's still a great time to buy. So take a look at the first slide and the number of listings. As you can see, the number of listings were just peaking in April 2020 at about 1,400, which normally we see in the springtime after our seasonal relax because of the holiday break. But normally it's about 1,500 to 1,700 on average. But then the pandemic hit, and you can see from March till August, it steadily declined. And likewise, if you look at this next slide that shows listing prices, you can see where the prices started to inflate. And that was in August 2020. And they went from a median price of a home of $450,000 in March 2020 to almost $600,000. Another factor we have seen in the increased prices is the out-of-state buyers. They're coming in, they're cashing out their homes, and they're buying in a lower price market where they can pay above the local buyer. And many cash deals are artificially inflating the values. Great for the seller, not for a buyer. So you just said, okay, I'll wait till the market crashes again and makes a correction. Why is that not a good idea? The demand is still so far out that the correction is not happening anytime soon. And the experts believe that the housing market will continue to appreciate at least to the next 2 to 3 years due to need and rates. I believe a lot of potential sellers are afraid to list their home. I think they're afraid because they won't find anything. Well, there are ways that we can work around an offer so you don't have to move until you find a replacement property. You're not going to get kicked out of your home. Also, with all I just disclosed, if you are need to update your home or to downsize or transfer, or as a senior, a change of life, the economic factors are still in place and it's the best time to sell. The only way to make a correction in this market right now is if it gets flooded with homes and a high percentage of homeowners are currently high, equity rich. So it's not going to happen. They have means to protect their investments. So don't take my word for it, but here's a recent article from the state of the market in the state of Utah from KUTV News. And it says that the Beehive State is looking like a great place to buy a home or sell a home. Bankrate.com reports the Utah housing market was on fire before the pandemic, and now it's even hotter. Dave Robison, president of the Utah Association of Realtors, told Bankrate.com it's insane. Utah boasts among the nation's strongest pace of job growth, along with low unemployment, low mortgage rates, few mortgage delinquencies, and now state and local taxes are low, according to his website. I won't read the whole article, but I'll put the link down here below where you can read it at the bottom. So remember, I said to hang on, and I'll tell you why it's still a good time to buy now. So with all these variables I've just rehearsed that we are so strong, let me tell you the biggest reason not to wait. It will cost you money. If interest rates go up just 1%, you lose 10% of your buying power. So for example, if you're looking at a $400,000 home and rates move up 1%, you only qualify for $360,000. But basically, you don't qualify for that $400,000 home anymore. Here's another example. This slide shows the cost of waiting. If you buy a home priced today at $350,000 with an average rate of 2.97%, it'll show here what your down payment and your mortgage amount is and what your mortgage payment would be. Now look, if you wait a year, now your house costs you $370,000, your interest rate's over 3%, and your house payment has gone up, and you have no equity. Even if you buy at the very top of the market and a correction follows shortly after, statistics show that in 7 to 8 years, those values are regained. That's the normal trend of appreciation of 3.8% that shows over an extended length of time. Real estate is really never worth less than 10 years back. So I believe I have the answer to the housing short. Where builders are still building from behind, we have another resource. If you were a landlord with rentals, second homeowner, or a vacation rental owner, you have never had a better opportunity to cash out than you have right now. Watch my previous video right here. Tired of being a landlord? The market's hot. So to close, we have options and methods for someone wanting to sell and be confident to find another home. And for home buyers, we have a cycle every 10 years or so that home prices are going to go up really high. It's all relative. In my first house was at 13% mortgage rate while I was earning $5 an hour. But my clients know that they can earn more equity in buying a home than they could ever to fill a savings account. So call me right here.